Dogs is back with a case of Alexia Burton, who's suing her former friend Justin Hempfling for $4,800 for the loss of her dog and property after a wild party at her apartment. But Justin says it was just a small get-together and contends her dog escaped from the apartment on his own. He's countersuing for $2,000 for harassment.
Give me what happens when you come back.
Okay, so I come back. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna take Penny for a walk. Go to Penny's crate. Penny is not in there. I'm like, well, maybe Penny's with Justin. Call Justin. Nothing. Call Justin again. Nothing. I like go to the neighbors, knock on the doors. I was like, hey, maybe like Justin wasn't up to it anymore and just left Penny somewhere. Wasn't at the neighbors. I started looking around the neighborhood, like just knocking on doors, like, hey, have you seen my dog? Have you seen my dog? Nothing.
What happened to Penny?
So, I mean, pretty much what happened was the night that I had the get together. These two girls were there, and they were asking. They had heard Penny yelping, and they were just like, oh, that's a dog, like, oh, it's a Yorkie, like, can we take it out, can we play with it? So finally I relented, and I was like, all right, sure, like, we'll take the dog out for a little bit, just for a little bit, and then we'll put him back in the crate, no big deal. I can keep an eye on him, like, I figured since I was standing there it would be fine. So, we got the dog out for...
What kind of a crate are we talking about?
It was like a cheap plastic
It was
crate.
not cheap. Believe me, I bought it.
I assume it's the dog can breathe in there and everything. It's got a latch on it. It's just a cage, one of those plastic cages.
Only things with opposable thumbs can open. So there's no way the dog could have gotten out.
So then what happens? The dog is still there.
So then at that point, like, we do the drinking game. My friend ends up passing out. Like, and then once he passes out, everybody else is like, all right, the get-together's over. So, I slowly started winding down too. I passed out. And then,
winding down is passing out.
I was getting everybody, sort of out, and then, I ended up just like going to sleep, once everybody was out.
Okay.
So the next day I wake up and I go to the crate, I go to try and like, I go and say like, Penny, I walk over, Penny's not in the crate. So immediately I'm just assuming that it's like, that maybe, Penny Houdini'd out of the,
Houdini?
Yeah, like Houdini'd out of
Penny
the crate.
escaped from the crate.
That was my first thought, honestly, because, I've heard of dogs doing stuff like that before to small plastic crates.
Let me humor you. How did Penny escape from the crate?
Honestly, the dog was super hyper, so I just assumed
Penny's not that hyper. I'm sorry.
No, the dog was extremely hyper, so I assumed that maybe the latch wasn't, like tightly on, or maybe like the dog had escaped.
And that would be her responsibility.
No, but I mean, I wasn't.
Were you the one watching the apartment?
What's it?
Were you the one watching the dog?
Yeah.
So whose responsibility is it to make sure the cage is completely latched?
I mean, I am pretty positive that I latched it.
When you're blackout drunk?
You don't find Penny when you come back.
No.
And what happens?
So I'm like searching.
The rest of your apartment's okay? It just smells?
No. I'm like, okay, the least I can do at like 1 o'clock in the morning is post something on Facebook, like post pictures on Craigslist, like something, and I go to turn my computer and it just doesn't turn on. I'm like, I check it, I'm like, it's plugged in. I don't know what's going on. I eventually took it to Apple and they're like, it's liquid damage. See the sensors, they're red, and it smells like beer, and I don't drink.
So somebody spilled a beer in your open computer?
Yeah.
Coming up, does Alexia's witness simply have a bone to pick with Justin?
Miss Mazza has been friends with Miss Burton longer than I've been friends with her, and she has always been jealous of our friendship and how close we are. So